That's right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Growing Up Alien. We have a really fun evening planned with Andy Z, as I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Those folks who are um, joining us from the Facebook group Growing Up Alien After Hours Chat will know Andy as one of our moderators, so they'll be familiar with, you know, our bit of banter back and forth. And for our other and our other viewers, this may well you've seen Andy before on one of our lives, but this is the first time we do a formal introduction for Andy and his podcast, the Z Frequency. So
Woo.
yeah, it's awesome having you talking about yourself tonight rather than
Yeah, I
I
know it's weird. I'm not a big talker about myself, but
know me me.
yeah.
You get launched into this arena and you're kind of like, oh crap. Yeah, that's not
Right, yeah. I know. Yeah, basically, I just felt like there was so much going on, and we're at such a crucial time with everything that and I got nudged by a few people to start putting my thoughts out there on a podcast. So I did, and I hopefully it's making a difference. That's the big thing.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm not pushing anything. I don't have any services to sell. I just really want to get the word out that we're being deceived, really.
yeah. Yeah. No. I love the way that you're sort of setting up this. And you just start. When did you start?
Maybe a month ago,
I know. It's
maybe. Yeah, I just did it on a whim, and it's still just a whim. It
yeah.
just is like me seeing stuff, and then I'm like, no, no, this isn't right. And then I talk about it. At this point, we need as many people out there telling the truth
Yeah.
as possible because we've got so much bullshit
Yeah.
shoved in our faces all day um, that I think it's important for us to start thinking for ourselves, not listening to. Don't listen to me. I'm just putting ideas out there for you to take in
Yeah.
and decide what you think.
Yeah.
That's kind of my idea as to what I wanted to do. Um, just because there's so much deception. So,
Yeah. Well, the psyops are everywhere, and right
right.
now with the AI, you
Yeah.
can't tell reality from fiction.
Yeah. Oh, it's so bad where, yeah, I mean, and you can run it through an AI scanner and all this stuff, but I mean, I've not all the time, but I feel like I can usually tell. You can usually tell the look of it is kind of weird, but there's some that are really good.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, and it's a great tool, but we would need to leave it there. I think there's a lot of people that use it to ponder life and try and use it to understand life and spirituality. It's a machine. I mean, it's a program.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn anything about life or spirituality from a machine.
I'm a, I
You know, that's scary. You want to find it from yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And that I think that goes and we always say this and everybody I know says this. It's, we just throw information out there and everybody just but then it's like, hey, this is some stuff for you to look at and, spend some time with it or not. It's all
Yeah,
about what's important is people getting to spend time and effort in developing who they are, which is for most of us the one thing that gets erased in childhood.
absolutely. And it's not, I think a lot of us too are, we're kind of programmed that it's selfish to spend time learning about yourself or indulging who you are. Sorry,
Oh
my
no, Renata.
Renata decided to just play with the game, I guess. So yeah, I think we don't have to be, it's not selfish to learn who you are, and it's not pompous to trust yourself or trust what you get because we all are intuitive beings. I mean, we're in a body currently, but that's not who we are. So um, it's just a little sliver of who you are, and it's a terribly programmed little sliver of who you are. There's a lot more to you. So trust your intuition and trust what you're getting for yourself. You can listen to us and we can tell you what we think and what we're getting, but you're the one in charge of your own reality at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
you know.
And so we talk to people. We don't hide in a little castle somewhere. And like, it's
Right.
it's like it. And the only way you can get to know anybody in this realm of like layers of illusions where we're constantly pushed to suspend belief, you know,
Yep.
and to suspend disbelief at the same time in within 15 minutes, and then there's suggestion. So
Right.
you can't possibly navigate all that. Um,
Right. No, absolutely
it's just
not.
like, yeah, it's absurd. So it's that's, but I like, I think you made a great point where, it's not ego lord or, pompous to spend some time figuring out who you are and what you want and where you want to be and where you want to go and what's working and what's not working. That actually makes you, I mean, that's the one thing people say, like everybody's so fake and shallow. Yeah, exactly. So once you become yourself, you're bringing something to the table for other people.
Exactly. And you're not following what everybody else is saying. And if anybody's pushing on you what to think
Yeah.
or how to think, that's not somebody that you want to listen to in the story.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, but again, it's like we all have time to express what it is that we feel about something, and whatever that is, that's legit. And we can agree to disagree
Right.
and
Exactly. Like,
still
you know,
remain. That's something that, well, they want that now. They want a lot of discord. They want people pit against each other and all these kind of weird, nasty, venomous type environments, which really
right.
permeates our society in
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
general. So I almost wonder how much of that isn't mind control, where they
Oh,
start.
it all is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then and I talked about this the other day. Look at they've designed us, they've designed the system to be just dualistic. So there's left or right. And
Yeah.
then, so right there, you're not supposed to be friends with half of the population or have anything to do with them.
All
So
right.
then you start segmenting into all those little political disputes. You have 1% of the population, and that's just politics. Like, think about religion, think about socioeconomic status, and it's race, all these things that are designed to divide us. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's all it is. So we have to find innovative ways to unite rather than disagree and fall out, which is really happening in this truther or whatever you call ET, whatever it is, community. Just because you don't agree with somebody's, version of one thing doesn't mean they're out to get you or
Yeah.
they're CIA or anything. There's people that are purposely disinforming people. But for those of us that are not telling anybody what to think, you know, um, you can just agree to disagree and move on.
But it's also important that people come forward and do what you're doing in some way, whatever way they're the most comfortable, to get the message out and to be able to take over in case we have anybody who's fallen, because these guys can come in. And when we talk about, that's a lot of compromised individuals with large podcasts.
Yep.
You can't, it's not their fault, because these bad guys come in and they make you an offer you can't refuse, and there's nothing you can do about it, and then they hijack you and your channel,
Right.
and you can see the people, because they're kind of like, they have a sense of fear in their face, they have a sense of like a little bit of like nervousness or distress. They may people notice like, oh, they're probably putting some weird, crappy stuff on, or they're bringing on a lot of grifters or whatever, and you're just like, what the fuck? That's likely what happened, because they once you get that knock on the door, and they know exactly how to get you. It isn't like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
they have some, balls and stand up for themselves. They're not necessarily going to get you. They're going
Right.
to
They're
we're
going
going
for your family, your kids. Right.
Right. So it's gonna be like, hey, if you say that again or show that again, or you don't do this, we're gonna tell you what to do from now on, blah, blah. Here's your kid at the school bus, or.
Right. Exactly. Well, and even still, they'll sweeten the deal to say, okay, we'll pay you $30,000 a month for
Oh, yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Then you're safe. You can do this, this, this. You just can't talk about this. Or
Right.
if this comes up, steer it this way. So a
Right.
lot of these people think that they're still doing good work, but they're it's all being orchestrated from behind them, you know.
Right. And that's how you know, because like I said, that can happen to anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
absolutely. If they're sick of what you're saying,
right, right.
they can absolutely sabotage your life pretty
Right. And
easily.
it isn't like something where you could just be like, okay, I'm just gonna take my channel down, blah, blah, blah. They're gonna be like, oh, you take your channel down, we're gonna kill your mother, some
Right, yeah, and they're not going to let you. I mean,
yeah,
they
right.
need your followers.
Yeah, I've
Right.
always wondered, I'm like, what could I do? I'm like, man, because like a code word or something, if they were to do something like that. But it's like, oh, because every code word I come up with, they would know.
Right, yeah, yeah.
They hear everything we. So you're like, shit, Well, I guess I always say if
Yeah,
anyone
tug on the
starts,
ear.
yeah, no, they'll know now. They
Old Carol Burnett.
now they know. It's like nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh, so it's yeah, just the weird stuff we think about, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be real. I mean, it's very real. I mean, this is
Oh yeah, yeah,
we're in the middle of a war and it gets dirty,
dirty.
dirty, dirty, dirty.
It's like, yeah. I mean, it's a psychological war.
Yeah, very much so.
It's, and
And
it,
and the spiritual, I mean, the whole idea behind everything is for us to keep plugging into this sense that the government's the power, you have no power, um, just not realizing that we are actually very powerful individuals and beings on this planet. Um, the less we realize that, the more we perpetrate their agenda and screw ourselves over. I mean,
yeah, 100%, but it's a matter of, I think, we all go through this journey of understanding what kind of methods they're using,
yep,
how they're influencing us. They influence us in ways that we don't even realize.
yep,
And until you're like,
absolutely.
"Oh, I gotta watch that. I go, because I've had a lot of people triggered by the war. It's like, how do you know that's even real?
Right. Which, I mean, what I really think with the war is they're trying to trigger end times. I mean, they're trying to set forth this biblical prophecy um, so that they can trigger their their Lord to come back. And I don't know if that's a frequency or if that's a frequency embodying or embodied by a person or what that is, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know what that looks like, but that's what they're trying to do.
I almost feel like they're trying. It's curious because today I watched a podcast. I don't know if you got to see it yet, but I know somebody else did who's part of our, our friend list. And people want to be, we have the Facebook group,
Right.
so I don't do a lot of social media because I hate social media. So it's just, I didn't even start the Facebook group. I ended up taking it over, but like, I didn't use that. But I kind of wanted to set up, we wanted to have something where, and of course, Andy, you're one of the moderators on there, where folks can get together and talk, because
Right. Yeah.
on these lives you can't really talk, and it's
Right. Yeah.
by having a face group, then people can get to know other folks and meet up with somebody and then take it up into a personal thing where you're calling each other or texting, whatever.
Right.
And
Right.
we can get intel across this is what's so cool is that you can get intel across the world. Like if something's going on in Israel that they're putting out, you can ask somebody who lives there, hey, is this happening? They're like, no.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's
Like,
the
hello.
whole.
Yeah.
And for anybody that does want to join after watching this, please feel free, but please answer the effing questions for the love of God.
Well,
And
oh, the question.
yeah, there's so many people that don't answer the questions, and we have to be able to vet people. So answer the questions and agree to the rules. It's not that I hate turning people away, and I always say, sorry, we need you to
Well,
answer the questions.
the
And
reason
then
the questions are there is you get bots.
right, correct. So just answer the questions. We don't need your life story. You don't
Yeah.
have to expose your,
Yeah.
we're just looking to block out some of the effers that are that like to meddle or be in the know.
Well, and I guess a lot of you get spam like that weird shit comes on. That's what'll happen.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't, And I've asked, I had another site, it was on chickens. I mean, I run a chicken, but I didn't have anything like that. And it was open to the public because I'm like, yeah, I want to be open to the public, blah, blah. I had to take it down because we just huge amounts of like erotic, sexual, like they just come in.
Yeah, it's
And it,
yeah.
yeah, and it
I
was,
keep thinking like all these people that have these scams, it would really be great if they spent just a little bit of time, like half that amount of effort doing something positive for the world instead of because there's really some genius ones out there where I'm like, oh, you almost got us. You almost got me.
we
But
almost got, yeah. Yeah,
do
it's
something
just the
productive.
reality. You have to, unfortunately, it's just the reality of it because you get hammered. And I told Facebook, they're like, oh, you can just tell Facebook. They don't do shit.
Yeah, no.
Because I told them and they said, oh yeah, just press this, blah, 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 and it'll be, and they won't come on. They didn't do anything. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And I just like, fuck this, you know.
Right, of course.
So as
No, of
long as we
course.
keep 'em out in the first place, then that's otherwise it is literally a nightmare.
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah, no. And old Fuckerberg wants to keep it
Right.
going exactly how it is. Like
Yeah.
he benefits from that.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's just the whole thing, but oh my God. So actually I want to ask you, Andy, when did you first get involved with some of the stuff that you're working with now, the visitors and different dimension
So
beings, blah, blah,
I would say I've always been an odd person. I did not necessarily, I wasn't necessarily super psychic when I was little, but I did always see lights around people. And I didn't realize that that was a thing until my late teens, early 20s. I was like, wait a minute, what are these lights? I didn't think it was anything different. So then I started to kind of explore that in my early 20s, I guess. And I actually was on a Facebook group where you kind of practice doing readings and stuff like that. And during that time, usually when I see lights, they're really pale colored, like they'll be like a pale blue or a white or pale green, very, very pale around people. And they're usually around people. It's usually like their energy or somebody's trying to get my attention that's connected to them. But one day, I was in my room by myself and I saw just a really intense blue, like almost, I'd say, like almost a navy blue light right in front of me. And I was like staring at it and I was like, what the hell is going on here? I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So then it went away. And then I was like messaging somebody on the psychic group. I'm like, I just saw the craziest blue light that I've ever seen in my life. And they were like, did you try and connect with it? And I was like, of course not. Why would I think of that? So I tried to connect with it then. And what I saw in my mind was it basically looked like a Hindu god was a pale, or I'm sorry, a blue skinned man that was smiling. Like it was a really genuine, nice smile. He had gold everywhere, it was kind of adorned in gold. But I was, at this point, I didn't know anything about extraterrestrials. I was thinking, all I knew was abductions at this point. So I was like, oh, don't abduct me. Don't abduct me. Leave me alone. I'm good. I'm good. I won't bother you. I don't know what's going on here. So not so great. Wasn't the great introduction. Then probably a week later, and this is where things started getting dicier and dicier. Corey Good came out with David Wilcock, and he was talking. I saw this at night where it was like the middle of the night, and it was like, if you're seeing a blue light, you're a wanderer. They're trying to reach you. I was like, wait, what? So, we all know Corey Good's questionable, but I think at the beginning, at least that part was the bridge for me to kind of realize that maybe the reason that I'm so odd is because I'm not from here.
Right.
So, and I'd always been, I think I read, I don't know if do you remember Linda Goodman by any chance? Like way
Yes.
back in the day, she was, okay. So she had kind of like a mystic, I think it was called Star Signs or Sunset Star Signs. I think it was Star Signs. I mean, I read that by the time I was 8 or something. I mean, it was like the mystical, all that stuff. So it's always been something that's interested me. But once I didn't necessarily grow into my intuitive part until probably my early 20s.
Yep.
was kind of shut off from it all. So then since then, it's a whole, you know, it's been nonstop attacks and dragging you in the wrong direction. And that probably happens to a lot of us,
Right.
that are, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly where you've been before, why you're here. And they'll set up traps for you all along the way to capture your attention and pull it away from your mission, your purpose here. So I had a lot of that.
Oh,
And once you kind of break free from that, though, it all clicks in place. Like, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you know where you came from. I don't have it all figured out. I don't have the memory that you do where it's full memory by any stretch.
well, you will.
Uh,
It just takes time and you just focus on it. That's.
yeah, yeah. And more and more, I'd say even every day I get something and
Yep.
it
Yep.
just chip away at it little by little. So, yeah, that's basically and do you want me to go into, yeah, well, might as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, my life that I'm here from, I have a body, um, well, it's in a ship around, but the world that I had just left, or I guess the solar system would be Procyon.
Okay.
So, this is going to start sounding weird, but we are in a temporal war.
Not
So
around here.
yeah. So currently, Procyon is in the middle of a war, pretty much like a war. It's a little more physical than it is here, but I'm actually there right now. But when I came here is from like 400 years in the future, where the war is over, the war is won. We are rebuilding, and then the call went out for this urgent matter. So here I am. I basically just incarnate everywhere like a doofus, wherever
I
there's help
know.
needed.
Yeah, that's what Frank Chili always says. He says we have to. He says you just bring it. You got your toothbrush. You're good to go.
Yeah, that's that. I'm like, I'm already on. Lord only knows how. And really, with the whole Procyon thing, that was not too dissimilar from what's happening here. Really, it was, from my understanding, what happened was, and you're kind of, the way it works there is there's a royalty, but it's not like they rule. It's just respected people.
Right.
And there's a priest class, and you kind of incarnate into these. It's not something that just anybody goes into. You incarnate to do what you're doing, basically. So somehow, royalty, like the royal family, was hijacked by Greys, is what. And we kind of figured out that there was something wrong with the royal class, and the royal class kind of more dealt with the majority of the people, and the priest class is really kind of like an advisory role. You live like kind of a monastic,
Oh,
um, priest kind of life where it's very spiritual. And there's not a ton of people that do it, and it's kind of scattered all over the place. But I'd say maybe there's 1,000 people that are in the priest class. So you're kind of born into these families, and it's more of an advisory role, I guess. So it's a weird way to do it, but that's how we kind of figured out something was wrong with something was hijacked with the royalty. So then we sent out a call from there, which was no small task. They knew exactly. I think there was 10 of us or so that incarnated in for that. They knew exactly what we were doing. It didn't go very well, but yeah. So now it's rebuilding time there. So that's done, which makes us feel hopeful for here.
right. Yeah, absolutely. So that you had the experience that's why I tell everybody, they sent the best people here.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for
The
ego stuff.
whole,
They want to get the job done. I mean,
right, yeah.
this
And
is
I have a partner there too, and kids. So my partner is not here, um, like Ika is with you. We check in, but he's with the kids. So yeah. So his brother's watching over my avatar in the ship, basically. And I am my own guide from
Yeah.
it sounds weirder and weirder as we go, but I'm basically my own guide from a sixth dimensional perspective from a different galaxy.
Right. That's actually common. People think there's always, but that's part of the worship thing on this planet, that there's somebody else that's guiding you. There isn't. It's you.
Right. Yeah.
You do have I mean, there are people you work with. Yes, of course.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, when people say, they think there's that's a lot of it's monarch or CIA thing where they think there's, oh, I'm receiving intel from this thing. That's a little red flaggy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Might
and
be, but it's
for a
all,
long time,
yeah, yeah, that's
for such a long time, they like in the 90s and the early 2000s, everybody was pushing spirit guides. And
right, right.
if you need them to check your email or tie your shoes, it was like they're not your personal assistant. Like this is kind of how that was presented to everyone. And that kind of opened a lot of people up for
Yes.
becoming disinformers,
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Well, you're giving away your power. You don't you're not looking to yourself. You're looking it's counterintuitive and goes against the whole point, which is that you don't need someone, whether it's a god or a priest or something else, whatever kind of thing you're looking for outside of you. Not that
Right.
you shouldn't ask. It's fine to just ask. We all need help, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it made people constantly look outside rather than through,
Correct.
which is the whole cabal.
Right.
Look outside, look outside, look outside. No, 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 no. Look through.
Right. And they're more than happy to provide somebody to tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
The cabal is happy to provide. So, and the whole, there's a whole hierarchy and system behind the perpetrators too. Is like they're very organized. They know
Oh,
exactly what to do, and we are not. That's the problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're busy getting duped. So,
Right. Yeah, yeah. And playing all these weird psychobabble games, it's like shit,
yeah,
step back from all that shit. And it's like,
yeah, and really the strongest thing you can like start working on right now is your discernment. It's everything is filled with a lie. Everything is a lie. So I always tell people take it in how you feel. How does it feel in your chest? How does it feel in your stomach? And if it doesn't sit right, it's not right.
all right, it's not.
And you get rid of it. And just do that as many times a day as you possibly can.
Yes.
It's the strongest. It's the strongest thing that you have right now to make it through all this.
Absolutely.
We want to make it as easy as possible. You're just going to have to trust yourself and know that you know what's right and wrong, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, but that's what they don't want us to preach. That's
Right.
over target poking the bear. That's
Right. Right. Exactly. It's a they want us disempowered. They want us looking to spirit guides so that they can provide
they're providing. Yeah.
answers that they want you to have. That's really the
Yeah.
long and short of it. As soon as we start realizing that we have all the answers and we are sovereign beings,
Yeah.
that's when we become a threat to them.
Right. Right.
And that's when, you get attacked nonstop, and it's just part of it.
Yeah, it's breaking down all the hall of mirrors. It's like throwing rock, walking into their hall of mirrors and throwing rocks.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly what it is.
And then they don't want people doing that, but
No, because that's all they have is
that's
keeping
all
us
they, which is why I think they're going to start pushing stuff now, because I think that's happening. I think most people you talk to now, they're kind of like, they're really stepping back and saying, this doesn't feel right. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gas prices went up here, like that. They raised the gas prices from like 280 to 340. Like,
Right. And
it's like,
that gas is already in the pipe. So
that's something. Why would you raise it? Like that didn't even make any sense, which means that there's some kind of collective bullshit party going on with that. And
yep.
it's got nothing to, they're manufacturing all of the situations in order to lock people down. So they're getting
Yep.
all that. I think somebody had mentioned they're using air raid sirens in Britain. And Well, and that's what, and I always say, if they do launch any kind of attacks in the Western areas, it isn't going to be from the East. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, good point.
It isn't
Yeah.
going to come from the East. And it's just all made, if they need to, they'll only, everything they do is, I always say they're kind of lazy. They do
Oh
the
yeah,
minimum amount to get a result. So once they get the minimum, oh, okay, there we go. And they'll only push it up if they have to. Um, right now, I
exactly.
think the cabal is in trouble itself. So the ones that are kind of running Earth. So of course the conglomerate or the syndicate is interstellar. And I wouldn't be surprised they have some hands in Procyon as well. They're
Oh
all
yes.
and
It's all it's yeah, it's for sure.
but the ones who are here are in not only business trouble, but economic trouble. And the way that so they were put here to run this business and they're
Right.
fucking it up. So yeah, there's a lot of discord between the ones here and the main CEOs in the syndicate.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not archons or loose takers. That's there, but that's an interdimensional.
Dark Fleet, isn't it?
That no, the Dark Fleet's just part two. That's another part.
Oh, okay.
So there's all kinds of because you got different types of extraterrestrials that run like pirate things. You got um weird entertainment stuff up. It's like Wild West. You got these weird entertainment ships, entertainment like on asteroids or there's different there's about couple in our area maybe I'd say now but a dozen. I'm asking, is there a dozen like a dozen, he's about a dozen planets that are kind of like screwed up like Earth.
Yeah.
So that's where they ship the slaves and all that shit, right? So
Right.
uh, anyway, some of them are doing a lot better than there's been a lot of screw ups here on Earth. And some of that is because of the alliance and world, the Federation of Worlds. It's not, they don't call it the GFW, they call it something else. But their interference with it, which is why we're here, was we came in
Right.
to interfere. And they know that, like, hey, you allowed all these envoys to come in. There's
Right.
tons of them over decades.
Oh, so that's why.
Yes, so there's some shit that's been coming. So we came in to crack it from the inside.
Yeah, I knew
And
that
they
part.
keep screwing it up. And the syndicate keeps saying, hey, you guys gotta start doing something to fix the crap you got going on here because they're actually financially in the hole.
Oh no.
So they're kind of like, they're basically, you run a business, you have a franchise, right? That's really how the syndicate runs, is franchise.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a CEO section that's kind of like a Wall Street, that looks to see all the different. So the Dark Fleet would be one of their franchises.
Got it.
They
Okay.
look to see, how's everything going, and then they're like, oh, hey, you guys have been like sales are down here, like that kind of thing.
Right.
So what's up? And then, oh, we're trying, blah, blah, all right. They don't want to hear excuses. So sales are down, sales are down. So now it's kind of what you guys gonna do to, with this planet? And that's where we are, where they're drumming this situation up, which is why I think a lot of it isn't real.
Oh,
Saying,
I mean, yeah, it's all you'll there's always a kind of a base model to how they run these things, and
yeah,
it's traumatize, 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 stress
right.
out, stress out, stress out. So they're going to keep piling things on until people are in a state where they just want some kind of help, and then they're going to provide you help.
So they know they're losing. There's not a lot of people in the world who are like, I love my government. There's not.
Right, right,
So they know that, so they've lost a lot of power because if you even go back maybe 10 years, you still had a lot of people that were voting and supporting and thought their vote mattered and like, well, but now people are kind of being, they're being very suspicious about everything. And
right,
that's
which is
going to get,
good.
which is what we, right? That's our,
Right.
That's
Keep it
our
up.
that's the art of war, right?
Yeah, right. Keep it up, everybody. Yeah.
Right.
Get
So
ambitious.
they're like, shit, we gotta do more, more and more and more. So it could get bad because they're gonna have to do more and more and more and more to
Right.
try to break people. So I don't know how far they'll have to go, or if we're going to get interference finally from our side, like, hey, put down your beer upstairs and
Yeah, yeah. We're
upstairs and
getting there.
downstairs, the inner earth and the far.
Yeah. Do you have any? Have you ever talked to anybody from Inner Earth?
Yeah, yeah.
And what's their kind of stance on everything here?
Well, Ecos, I have to ask him because he did meet with a lady recently. When Dennis and I went down, he went and met with somebody there. But see, they were in trouble too. A lot of the Inner Earth group had been compromised by the regressive extraterrestrial Earth, black ops type.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they had gotten, there were Inner Earth factions, groups that were working with the dark side, like Telos.
Yeah, yeah. I knew that.
Guys,
Okay.
they didn't have any, they didn't have, they were taken over. They're not very militaristic down there. They don't have much of a military.
Right.
So these guys went in through Antarctica and a few other places, and they took them down with the Draco. So they got handed their ass, and they were like, okay. So they kind of, that's gone. That's done. See, they don't have, like I said, they don't have a military in there.
Right.
So I'll have to ask him more about what actually was going down. I know some of what they were working on was contact. So the one-on-one contact.
That's good.
Yeah. So there are people who have met Inner Earth people. They may think they're meeting somebody from another planet, but it's actually Inner Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
There was some of that. That seems to be where I feel that they're waiting for like a go signal. Because
Okay.
if they come up, they get killed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So
because they look pretty like pale skinned, white hair, right? Am I right on that?
there's all different kinds down there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You got some that look like reptilians, you got some that look I
Yeah, like
like
noggins, yeah.
amphibian types, and you got really ancient creatures down there that are just different. Then you got the humanoids. So, but some of them are quite tall too. So, but
Yeah, I've heard that too, like 8 to 12 feet.
yeah, you also have the Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there
Yeah,
are
I've
there
never,
are
never met one
clans
of
of them.
those. I want to though.
Yep, yep. There's clans of them that are connected with Inner Earth. So they actually are interdimensionals. People have seen Bigfoots
Right.
like disappear. Then that's what they can do is shift dimensions. There's also Bigfoots that are off planet. So yeah.
I know, and it's so funny to me that there's all these like have you ever seen where it's like the guys you know, real redneck guys that are like, well, I'm gonna get me a Bigfoot. Like
Oh, I used to
those
watch the
kill
show.
me because I'm like, you don't understand. They can literally leave whenever they want. Like then you just can't see them. They're somewhere else.
Ship
Like
them out. They
it
ship.
cracks me up.
Yeah, they ship them
It
out.
really kills me. Those are the best. Where they're
Yeah.
just so funny and they don't mean to be.
Well, some people think it's like an animal, but they're not.
Yeah, no, they're very intelligent. They're
They're
more
very-
intelligent than we are. Yeah.
Actually, I should bring that. I've not talked to that lady. You'd love her. One of is Kathy and a couple of people that Frank knows, and they hang out with Bigfoot. So, well, actually, we have Jeff that comes on too. He's a Bigfoot contactee all his life. So there's quite. I mean, oh,
I think I've seen a couple episodes maybe where you talk to them. Yeah, I find that fascinating. I'd love
they
to
are
meet.
in full. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's not. It's there's a lot of. I think what I almost sense is there's people are so we're all tired, and there's just so many folks in Earth and upstairs and here as well that are just tired of all this bullshit, and they want to come out. They want to let's you know, and
Let's get the ball rolling.
yeah, I feel. And I think that's what's actually, I know a lot of folks have been feeling vibes now. Like it feels funny. It's like, so I think it's something's going to happen. Either this is the way I kind of feel it. It's like there's going to be something will move forward. We'll get stuff to happen, or there's a total, tits up, fuck up again, and we're like in a holding pattern. That's
Yeah.
I just think it's extreme where we are right now. It's like you don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like the holding pattern I don't think that that's energetically sustainable.
It is,
The
they've been
pressure's
doing
so
it.
high.
Yeah. Yeah.
The pressure's so high. Whether it's good for us or bad for us, there's a tipping point. It's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating,
Yeah.
and those on our side, on our, who are not only envoys on Earth, but everybody who's like, trying to get this cleaned up, they're so tired.
Yeah.
Well, you
I'm
got
sure they are.
people, right? I mean, you can imagine they've been doing this in like the 20s.
Right. Yeah.
And then
It's,
start, yeah. Anyway.
and we are dealing with, I would love to call them all idiots, but they've got the system mapped out so perfectly that they kind of have a response to everything that happens, anything positive that happens.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
press the button, three things collapse.
right.
Everybody, it's they've got this down to a science. So the only thing that I think is has been feeling better is that they've just been feeling desperate. Like they feel like they're
Yes,
being more reactive and
yes.
less proactive. So that's the only thing that I've been feeling good about
Yeah.
recently with everything.
Well, that's what I think would be a great benefit for all of us if they keep fucking up, which they are. The
Yeah.
syndicate is going to cut them loose because they're
Oh my
going to
God.
be like, we don't need Earth.
Right.
Like,
Fine.
what's here for us? I
Yeah.
honestly don't. I know there's a lot of people who's like, oh, they want Earth because it's got all these blah blah blah. Not, I mean, come on, Earth's great, but it's not, you know how many planets are out there?
Right. Oh, like
It's like,
you may
so
say
what?
infinite,
So,
infinite.
right. Here's this little cafe. We have you have a main franchise cafe, a Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
So you have, the main Starbucks, and then you have this one little Starbucks in a backwater, because this is backwater.
Right.
The
Yeah,
solar
we're at
system,
the edge of our little galaxy
the
as it is.
backwater, right? You got this little Starbucks in the backwater area that's been for several years now consistently underperforming. So after a while, they're just going to be like, and they keep whining. We need help. We need help. We need help. They're like, after a while, you're like, you know what? Yeah.
Close it down. I'm for it. Go ahead and close
Yeah.
this
I
down.
suspect that could be, and I don't know, I'm totally throwing this out there as a guess, but I do know they're in trouble. So that could be what's going to happen. Is that just they're just going to be like,
Let
yeah,
us loose.
yeah, yeah, and then that's when the other guys will come in and like, arrest everybody. Because
Yeah, cut us loose.
they're not going to get away with it. They're going to go to jail for what they did. So they're going to what you're going to see. I always, and I've been saying this for a long time. You're going to see ship jumping. So they do allow that. They do allow that.
I'm fine too.
Well,
Yeah.
you're an asshole.
Jump shot.
You're on a pirate ship. You're an asshole, but you're like, oh, I'll confess and squeal on my other members if you save me. You're going to get a lot of that.
I'm good with it. Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's just get this over with.
And of course, big
Go to some other planet.
organizations.
Come
Yeah,
in.
the Catholic Church will be right out there. Oh, we love
Yeah.
aliens. Oh, Jesus love you. They're gonna flip. You're gonna have
Yeah.
some
Oh, for
really
sure.
dark Illuminati members of the Roman Catholic Church that are gonna be like, nah, they're so demonic, they're gonna have to go. But a lot of your like minions, they're all gonna be like, we love aliens, we love everybody. We're not gonna eat kids anymore,
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna flip.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that's done all that needs to go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can live. I don't care. Just get out of our
Because
business.
they look at it, there's layers to that because there's people who are truly, demonic,
Yeah.
mentally insane. That group, they're gonna go. But there's a lot of people that are like just pathetic, weirdo, they'll sell their soul for $5, that kind of
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
the scumbag, right? But the
Yeah.
scumbag,
The people that don't realize they have a soul, probably.
so those they'll work with. They'll because they're easy, and that because they're easy to manipulate.
Yeah. Yeah.
They always remind me of the in those movies like Lord of the Rings, you have like the king, and then you have this like weird little creature that follows around
Yeah.
thing. That kind of a lot of people are like that. They're the butt kissers, and they'll be the flippers. They'll be the ones that, and they'll be entertained. They'll do anything. They're the bootlickers.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
evil. They'll kill you, but they're also bootlickers, so that can get used. So the good guys will take them and work with them. That's what
As
it,
long as they leave us alone. Just leave us alone. My
well, they can,
God.
that's the thing is they can mind read, so you can't walk up and be like,
Right, yeah. No, I mean
yeah, already, yeah,
that yeah, there's no secret plots happening for us. You just have to openly oppose everything. You're not under the radar. They know what you're thinking. You know,
yeah.
it is
And
what it is.
yeah, and that goes, the bad guys do that and the good guys can do that as well. So
Right, exactly.
there's no one that's going to be like sneaking in, pretending they're like a white hat, whatever those people, whatever that means, and they're not, they know. So it's.
Well, and that's my can we talk about white hats for a minute? Because I
I
I have a really hard
I
time.
want
I
to
have a
start bringing
really
up
hard
some of
time.
your, yeah, I don't know what a white hat is. I've never met one. I've heard people talk about them and give different definitions for them, but they're a unicorn as far as I'm concerned. I don't know.
Well, for me, I don't see how is a white hat like secretly working covertly against black hats. How are they getting funded? Everything's, you know what I mean? Like the cabal funds everything.
Yeah,
They're not just gonna throw billions of dollars to oppose them. It doesn't make any sense.
right.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, the only information so I asked Ika because he was working there, and it was I compare with what he has an experience. He don't even know like what the hell was going on. It was such a shit show. There was beneficial stuff happening. So they were doing beneficial stuff. And this does corroborate what Bill Tompkins saw. So
Okay.
I think, and then it kind of began to get filled out, and I haven't got it all. I'm still reading and putting, all these threads together. It's like a murder mystery you're gonna put. Um, so and Amicizia, the Stefano Brescia mass contacts.
Yeah, yeah.
So on Earth, there are factions, right? It's a very tribal faction-based planet, right? So the
Yeah, yeah.
W56s were a mix of benevolent alien races, right? Just to make
Right.
conversation. There's a bunch of the different, so they just turned to W56 from 1956. There's a bunch of different aliens that are part of that. So they were here, living here for thousands, not it's hundreds of years actually. There's also other factions of regressive extraterrestrials that, like you saw with Procyon, are fighting different groups up in space and are also fighting these same groups here. So you
Right.
have Altair, Aldebaran, right?
Yeah. I
Right.
have a big problem with Aldebaran. Yeah.
Nope. I know you don't like them.
Yeah.
They,
I do not. They don't like me either.
they don't like
Yeah.
them. Those are the what was that guy talking about? The Nordics.
Yeah.
So they're Nordic, right? But
Right. Fording.
they're not the Fordics, although there can be Fordics involved with them. These are
Oh,
biological,
ones
they
that
right.
don't have a
They
soul.
are Nordics, right? Yep.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
though, but um, the Fordics don't come from Aldebaran. I'll have to ask Ika about that. So those
Some
are,
of them. Well, there's a couple of different ways to go about it. There's some that
yeah,
are like androids, but the
yeah.
Aldebarans that I'm talking about are reptilian that shift
Oh,
to
reptilian shifters. Okay. Oh, that's a whole
yeah,
different.
yeah. They're like reptilian Anunnaki, basically.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a whole separate. Yeah. So, but there are synthetic biological Nordics.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's a Fordic is any kind of fake Nordic, so
Right.
that can be anything.
Or the bad guy Nordics.
Yeah, that covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, because some are right. There's a whole line of them, but
Right.
they were working. So the military was kind of, I don't even know how they split it, but when Bill Tompkins was there, and I know a lot of other people working in the military who are now elderly also noticed some of this stuff. They saw ETs. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, it's like a weird, it's so compartmentalized that it's almost like all spies working together.
Yep.
So you have regressive ET groups that were fighting benevolent ETs in space and also on this planet.
Yeah.
So you have pockets of benevolent ETs as well. And Bill Tompkins, they called them the Nordic Navy. Those are
Yeah,
benevolent
yeah.
Nordics.
Okay.
So these guys were working in the think tanks. I don't like, did the bad guys know they were there? I would say yes. So Bill worked with them. They would the secretaries and all that stuff. They weren't
Yeah.
just secretaries. Their work that was their front. But
Right.
they would feed, and this is how it would generally would work, where they would feed information to Bill and other people there, and then they would build it. But at the
Okay.
same time, in the same think tanks on the same military bases, were regressive. They seen the reptilians
Right.
and regressive Nordic. So you would see the conflicts and the interactions between the benevolent ETs, not just Nordics, but generally because they could walk amongst us, right? So
Right.
it would be fighting the regressive ones at the same time. This is what was then shown in not only Bob Renault's work with the Corendi, but also with the mass contacts in the Brescia case, because they were fighting like it's a secret war. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting. And because what happened was in the Italian case, so things got was I'm going to say like the 80s, things started to increasingly get more difficult pressed into the 80s where the regressives were taking more control. That's when
Okay.
you're seeing the abductions.
Gotcha. Okay.
So those people who knew they call them the tall whites, they're
Yeah.
aggressive,
They
but
were aggressive,
they're
you said?
friendly. Okay, so this is
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, who's that? Who is that? The contactee, I
yeah,
guess.
they those are regressive. Yeah, and
They felt regressive when he was talking about them, like they didn't seem
they're
to
not.
be
They're
friendly.
actually they work, and that's the thing. It's very it's interesting because you have this is an ET war fought on Earth. So
Right.
all the different so we have different factions working here on this planet.
And then there's
Well, they let
us.
us like they know we're here. They're not just killing us. They're letting us walk around. It's weird.
Right.
It's
Well, and we're basically fighting their walk-ins and their
right,
star seeds.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we're fighting the secrets. Not everybody in the secret space program is benevolent. Not that they're bad people. It's just that they're mind control. They're assets.
Right. Yeah.
So those are the bad guys. Secret space program is bad guys.
Yeah.
And there are people who can pop out, and you do see that they pop
Yeah.
out and they want to fight, but it depends on what was done to them.
It's so convoluted.
It's wild. I mean, it's like it's just and then what Stefano Brescia remembered when he was talking to one of the W56 guys, talking about the way that they see their enemies, and they just see them as he says they call them enemy brothers
That seems about right. Yeah.
because they see this as just an eternal game.
Yeah. Right. And really, most it's at its strongest where we are, and then it starts not being quite as um, tumultuous as you advance.
Yeah, it's really yeah. I'm trying to wrap. I know you kind of. I'm trying to make sense. Like, wait a minute, because you start to look at different things. You're like, well, that doesn't make sense. But then you're like, okay, and you see it from that perspective. That's what's actually happening because it's happening. But you're like,
Yeah.
then you start to put pieces together. So it looks like Solar Warden, which is what was built by the benevolent side in the middle, was actually being run by both sides. So
Of
it's
course.
like it's just really where it's just wacky, You're like, wait a minute, it just doesn't.
There's no straight answers ever. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's yeah, it's because technically the secret space program is a mercenary fleet. It's a
Really?
mercenary fleet for the Syndicate.
Oh wow. Okay.
But they're mercenaries and the Syndicate rents them out.
Of course. Sure. Anything for a buck. Yeah.
Right. That's how they make them. So that's not an illegal thing to do. You can do that. So you can have aspects of a secret space program who are rented out fighters and working for a benevolent group.
It's so we'll never understand the whole thing. We need
It's absurd,
you need, just like you were talking, like a private investigator. Start
That's what I tell people to do. Be a private
with some
investigator.
yarn and like a big wall.
Yep. Yep. Right. So I mean, just something like now I donated eggs. I did that before, and you likely did the same thing. Not eggs, but but
Right, yeah.
you did it willingly without pain and without fear. That's how we do it
Yeah,
because they want to save the DNA,
yeah,
right? And we
right,
need to do that. So they'll take you up and take this stuff off, but you're aware of what's going on. You're fully involved. You know what's happening. There's no pain. You're all set, right? If you're being taken up and someone tells you they're benevolent and you're taken up in an abduction where it's frightening, where you have a bad experience, where it's like, oh, but they told me they had to do this and it's good. No, 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 no. That was a bad. They're lying to you.
right,
Aggressive.
right,
Anything against your will, even if they're nice to you, that's not benevolent.
right.
Aggressive.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Consent. If you're not giving
Right,
your consent and
right,
not implied consent,
right.
consent.
Consent. Yeah, because they'll manipulate. But the other ones are they're just full on manipulators. We love you.
Correct. Yeah.
We're your best friend. We're your family. You need to do this for
Yeah.
us. We love you. We want to help you. Here's some, and they'll give you spiels. A lot of these people
Right.
get
Oh,
all
yeah.
this kind of
Well,
information of like,
they'll do whatever they can to get
right.
what they want. And
Yep. Yep.
implied consent is good enough for them. It can be an energetic consent where you don't even know that you're agreeing to something.
Yep.
Um, that's why I just consistently say I do not consent to anything.
Right. No, no, no,
So
no.
if anybody's trying to help, you're gonna have to really sell me because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Don't
believe
sign,
it.
don't sign anything. That's another thing. Yeah. No, it's all like, yeah, it's crazy. But it's
Yeah.
so it's so intricate and so slick. I mean, it's basically we're walking around used car salesman. That's what it's.
Right.
It's slick.
Yeah.
Slick.
And you got to be on your toes at all times
Oh,
because
yeah. Yeah.
even well, just today I was doing an episode and I got bombarded, and that
Yes.
was
Yeah.
my consent was just bringing it up. Really,
Yeah.
is all that it was. And that's how they. And then you just have to shield up and blast light and get them
That's
out of
it.
there.
Push him out. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not all one, okay? I know on the upper levels we're all one, but not here, not now.
Yep. No, I can leave.
Blast them.
You have to. You can't fool
Yeah,
around. They'll have you for breakfast if you don't.
yeah, yeah.
So let's see if this does anything weird like I did with the last time I did one with Renata. But here is your channel. So I got that here.
There it is.
It
And
is.
I've got to figure out how I stop letting them choose my my
Oh, you don't
page.
like your thumbnail.
Well, if you go, let's say column 3, second one, that's definitely not the picture I would have chosen. It looks like
Oh,
I'm praying. The Bohemian Grove. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm
oh,
not that technical.
well, that's funny. See, Renata didn't like it either. Which is there one you'd like us to pull up for you as a
Um,
teaser? A
you
teaser.
know what? Let's do it. Whichever one you liked, I'm good with.
Oh, they're all good. I
Since
mean, I don't know.
well, I have no idea. Let me think about this. How about that Unity one? The column 3, first one, first
Oh,
row.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know which one you want.
Yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Z Frequency. I'm Andy Z. So today I have a couple things that I want to just point out to everybody, like as per usual. Okay, so this first one is a video. Well, I'll play it and then we can talk about it afterwards. So, someone from that had experience in special forces and the intelligence community. I was running by the list with them. And they said, you need to take those two names off your list and never talk about those two people ever again.
if you and they said they would have no problem having you killed.
So this is a problem. First of all, I mean, we kind of knew this was the case. That everybody's afraid for their lives, but we need somebody that's willing to risk it all and be honest. The problem is the threat of death is what is keeping people silent. So, and I'm not suggesting that he should come forward and risk his life by any stretch of the imagination, but at some point, if you come forward and say, these people said that these people could potentially kill me, but these are the names, you're not going to get killed, or they're completely implicated. So we just need people that are going to be brave enough to do that. If somebody handed me the names, I'd do it. I mean, you just have to come forward and be public. So it just takes one person with a backbone, and I would do it myself. I genuinely would do it myself if I had access to any of this stuff. So anyway, the next thing that I want to talk about is, I guess the last show that I did, or episode, whatever it's called, instance, was a lot of Trump's cabinet laying hands on him, and I told everyone that it gave me a weird feeling.
Oh, this is
and then I ran across this video, and now I know why I had such a weird feeling. So let me play this real quick.
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound.
Okay, I'm taking her off because I don't like.
well, that wasn't that like, I mean, I was like, holy shit, that's like.
Yeah, that's a spell. I mean, that's a spell.
Yeah, that's what, I'll bring us back. I hope I didn't do an Eagle Lord with me. We'll see when we play this back. But oh man, that was like freaking like.
Yeah, they're doing some weird stuff over there, and God, I feel like we just get a different Trump every day. We just get a different guy every single day.
I think you're right, but I mean that just the desperation there was like.
Yeah.
It always reminds me. When she kept going, it reminded me of like, say, an ancient civilization where the crops are failing, like Easter Island or whatever, and they're like going bananas, either killing more people and sacrifices or whatever they do. Like it's like a frenzy. Yeah.
Which is a good, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's a good thing,
Oh, it's not. I'm happy to say it. That's we need to get
bullshit, bullshit war, but they are like they're raised to do these things. Those poor, like that woman has been raised since she was probably 4 years old and trained in dark arts.
Yes.
And so she is gathering everybody's attention and everybody's focus, and she's putting it toward her own good use, or not good use, her own use for her own good. So, and everybody's doing this. When you go to a concert, they're doing it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
When you go, it's nonstop. When you're watching TV, that's exactly what's happening. So, they know what they're doing. They're very smart. They've got you in a spell and you don't know it. Right. And you're helping them along just by watching. You don't even have to do anything. You're giving them your energy.
Yep.
Well, I just got mad about it.
But it's a battery. It's a battery. That's why they want everybody living in all these. That's why I always say psychobabble, because they want everybody living in a contrived realm with a contrived personality that fits into all of the different like plugs that they want you to be in.
Right.
Because that way they can have a consistent supply of like low level,
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't need a lot of power. They don't, but they just want a consistent low level of this stress, anxiety, trauma, confusion, shame, whatever, this kind of low level energy. And
Yeah.
that, and they've got it from so many people around the world with pockets of higher level. And that's what that's how they manipulate, that's how they control. That's the it's just so mind-numbing that people are actually willingly locking themselves in this prison.
Yeah. Well, and they haven't picked up that something's wrong. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they
Because
do.
they're in that level and you don't want anything else. You're not striving for anything else because you've got what they want you to know is being pushed right in your face. So you don't have to go looking for what's my purpose? Why am I here? What is life really like? What is this all about? Because they're pushing the latest sitcom in your face. You know,
Right.
it's ridiculous.
Well,
They know what they're doing. They're
yeah,
holding you. It's like when you're holding a crystal. You know, you're putting pressure on it. It's piezoelectric energy. That's
yeah,
what they're doing to us.
they're doing, right. And it's all this twisted type of stuff that not only comes from family, but school and jobs and everything. So I always give an example, like say there's a room of people and this person A walks into the room. So when person A walks into the room, they're fixated on themselves. What do I look like? How are people going to respond to me? How are people going to, like me? And they're like,
Yep.
oh, poor. And they walk into the room in that victim status, loosh.
Yep.
And I call this it's narcissism because they're focused, they're
Yeah.
fixated on themselves instead of walking into the room as we would on other planets, where you walk
Right.
into the room and you walk into the room in service. I'm
Yeah.
person A. I'm
Recognizing
right.
that
Other people.
90% of the people don't even know you just walked
Yes.
in. Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
what they've actually done is now you say there's 5 people in the room, like on Earth. You've got 5 people in that room who are hyper fixated on themselves.
Right.
They're just sitting there, me. So when somebody else is talking, me. The person talking, then the other person talks, and the other person's back to the me state, me. And it's like,
Yep.
instead of being like, I'm here in presence, I'm here, Andy's going to speak now. So we hold space and we honor you.
Yeah.
Now,
Exchange energy.
right.
Exchange energy and contribute.
It's
Yeah.
contributing energy, it's sharing energy, it's honoring oneself, it's honoring someone else. You're not
Yep.
a narcissist. And this is
Right.
so being a victim is being a narcissist.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's what they feed into people. So
Right.
if you look at all of the movements that arose recently, they're all victim movements.
Yeah.
Get groups of people
I mean,
together, they ostracize themselves. It's us against them, it's me against you, it's all that. Man against woman,
yeah.
people against animals, they started in you go back in like the fight against, I mean, they're literally on this planet is fights against nature.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's like if you're not fighting with me, you're the enemy.
right,
You know,
that's
nobody can be ambivalent.
right. That's what they're
Maybe
doing.
it's none of my business. That's maybe it's none of my business and it's not about me. That's the
Right. I mean, there's
yeah.
no serve. I mean, that's the thing. You're either service. This is the way different ET societies works. Earth is an ET society, just like the other ones. You're either service to self or service to others.
Right.
There's no
And currently, unfortunately, unfortunately, this planet has been so programmed that
yes,
I
it's
think
all yes.
most people would probably, if they had the real choice, would probably want to help people. They just don't realize that they're not helping people by, you know what I mean? We just don't have a good understanding of how it all works.
Yep. Well, that's what Semiotics was saying. People say, "Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
my mom was mean to me. My sisters were mean to me. I went to school; they were mean to me. I was bullied in school. I know what that's like. blah, 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 blah. So semiotics is like, are you going to live their life in the way that they see you, or are you going to live your life in the way that you see you?
Right, exactly. Move on.
Move
Move
on,
on.
right? I mean, it's not that it's easy. She's got hang-ups like everybody else. She doesn't, she's a human being. She's not full of, but she's
Yeah, right.
giving a different perspective where she was saying, like, are you just going to sit there and stew and, are you going to walk down the street and meet somebody who's an asshole? Yeah.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the
Why
day,
do you, right?
everybody's not existing to accommodate you. And that's what, going back to your point of everybody being a narcissist, like I've identified as
Yeah.
a toaster and I want everybody to call me a toaster. And if you don't call me a toaster, you're assaulting me. It's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
get over yourself. Everybody else, if you look like a dude, people are going to call you a dude. Move on. It's not an assault to your character or the identity of yourself. And if it is, your identity is a little too frail to be out in public. You should stay home.
Well, that's what, you have to start owning yourself,
Right.
because you're either going to focus on this is me and I'm going to present that to the world. And not everyone's going to be okay with that, but that's fine. That's how we operate. There's going to be other
Right.
people who are going to be like, that's great. That resonates with me. And that's how it is upstairs. You're going to go on a ship and you're going to meet some total weirdos that you don't get. But you're
Sure.
okay. And there's a lot of different races that don't like humanoids.
Sure.
It's
I get it.
You don't vibe, right? I mean, that's just realistic. It's not,
Right.
but you don't, you might stew for a few minutes being like, oh, that was weird, but you move on,
Yeah, right.
So it's
Okay.
you're going to have, that's the thing. You're going to have bad experiences. You're going to have good experiences. It's just the way the world works. So it's the way it's the way everything works. And that's
Right.
that,
Yeah. It's
play,
unfortunately not everyone's going to accommodate you.
No,
It's
exactly.
what it is.
Well,
It's just what it is.
look at us right now. We're down here getting fucked over, wondering what the hell is going on. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Excuse me.
Right. I mean, we're like, hey,
we're to check in, guys. Yeah.
it's like, here we are, it's just like, we want to get this job done. What do you, and it's,
Can I send my satisfaction survey somewhere?
yes. But there's so many of us on that page of like, we're so done with this. Like, let's just move,
Yeah, well, you can only be in the trenches for so long.
Well, that's it.
Edgar Casey always said, and this is what I always think about, is Edgar Casey always said, be long suffering. And I was like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, we just
Casey, what do you know?
I look at it in the bigger picture is like, oh, whatever, this isn't my first life. It's not my last one. I don't give a shit. It's just, I'm just going to.
Right. Yeah. We'll get through it.
Right. Exactly.
It'll be crazy if we're out of here and we'll look back and it's going to be like you were gone for a week.
Yes.
Here. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it's going to be. I know when you get out of here, you're not going to be, that's not going to be, because when you look at all your past lives that we've had.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure some of them sucked, but you're just like, whatever. It just
yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean, to think about, like, I know of, and not that I know thoroughly all of them by any stretch, but I know of probably about 50, and there's going to be, those are notable ones. Imagine how many are not notable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
there's ones where you just are having a peaceful existence on a farm somewhere and you don't have any problems and you're just going about your business. You're not going to remember those probably, but that there's going to be a lot of them,
Yeah. Yeah. I always say, look at mice. How many lives have mice had? One mouse.
Right.
Come back.
Right.
I mean, it's just, they just keep coming back and being a mouse and doing their thing. And it's, so that's what
they're yeah, right.
It's like, just do what you do, move with what you got and flow and all that. And, as Brandon Thomas, always he has a great podcast too. Find ways to navigate this shit,
I don't think I know that Brandon Thomas. I'm gonna have to look
Brandon Thomas, yeah.
Okay. Brandon Thomas. I'm
I'll
gonna have to
send you.
remember that.
We've had him on a few times. At just
Oh, okay.
quite clever. I really
Maybe
like.
I have.
Yeah. When
And I probably have
Evan
seen
got
it.
me in on him, so it's yeah, you just find your niche, you stay in your lane, It's okay to
Yeah.
have a bad day. It's okay to have
Yeah.
a good day. It's okay to like it's like
It's
that's
okay to just go about your business.
right.
Just
Yeah,
go about your business. Yeah.
that's it.
I mean, some of us are here rustling leaves and hopefully kicking ass, but you don't have to,
No,
you
no
know?
one's putting a gun to your head to kick it. No, no, not at all. I
Right.
could have flipped him off and not done this, but I was just like, when you like,
Right.
well, I don't want to be just hanging around twiddling my thumbs. So I was like, all right, I'll do this, so
Yep.
but
I know.
yeah.
It'd be nice to just go about your day and not get, well, these random attacks out of nowhere, or, even if I'm not creating the podcast, it would still be happening anyway. So I
Oh,
may as well do some good with it.
yeah, I mean, now I've get none. I haven't been attacked by them in months.
Yeah, that's
Nothing.
good. See, and mine's
Nothing.
a little different. I haven't had any physical attacks that
Yeah.
I know. I know I had a gray, or I don't know if you remember that, but I sent you a picture of there was a
Yes.
gray that came in the shower. And I was like, there's a gray in here. And I couldn't see it. But when I got
Mhm.
out of the shower, there was like a wet footprint.
Yes.
And
You showed
I
me the
put my
picture.
foot
That was
next to it and I was like,
yes.
this is not my foot. So
Yes.
who knows what that was about. But
Yeah.
I don't think they've messed with me other than that, really. Like I think I've had a couple things while I'm asleep, but for the most part, I didn't get messed with like you did for sure.
Well, it was a long time ago, so we'll leave it in the past. I always.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
But
May as well.
that's part of the mission. That was part of it. So,
Yeah.
I think, in some ways I showed them, don't fuck with the benevolence because we got some bad shit just like you got, and we're gonna throw it in your face. So
Yep, yep. And a lot of us can be a little more evolved than you little heifers think that you are. You know what I mean? Some of us have some tricks up our sleeves
yeah, and I think
that we
that's
probably wouldn't use any other time except for here,
yeah. That's what I say. That's everybody's goal is to pull into your past, realize what you are, and it's not ego. That's not
No, right.
you gotta, pull into your past, find out what you can do, fool around with some of the shit you can do, and throw it out there. But and you just got to get out of your own head. That's what I mean, I've been through, you know, suicidal shit for years. And it's like finally at some point you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm tired of the pity party. And I'm gonna like just and once you do that, it's like the other side comes, you're like, wow, you know. And you gotta
Yeah,
cut people out, cut cords. I mean, I've cut people out. A lot of times they just disappear.
sure. Well, yeah, that's they don't want it to be hard, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're not making it easier, so we'll probably, well, I get energetic stuff more than anything else, but I'm still here. I'm
Right.
still here.
There we are, right? Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
gonna, play it to the end. That's all we can do.
And that's a really good point. It's not about ego. Like
No, 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 no.
you're confident because you are a soul that can do whatever you want. You just have to realize that you can do it. That's the trick. And they can't push you out of that. They can just trick you into thinking that's not who you are. That's really all it is.
That's actually what they've done.
Right.
Kind of a clockwork orange thing. The cabal created a massive narcissistic surge where everybody wanted to keep themselves small, except those people who were like the ego lords.
Right.
So they went out and showed off because they're ego lords. But then there was peer pressure in society where it's like, oh, I don't want to be good at anything because that might make somebody else feel bad about themselves.
Right.
So the person that you're worried about feeling bad about themselves is a narcissist. Because
Right.
anyone who prevents you, whether it's largely it's going to be passive aggression. They're not going to use the traditional narcissistic type behaviors. They're going to use, I call it the pathetic narcissist,
Yeah. Yeah.
where they're going to play the victim, do the pity party, but that's still all narcissism because their
What about me?
right, is to stop you, to put you down, to make shame on you. They create shame.
Right. Exactly.
That's what the cabal did to make sure that everybody stayed small.
Yep. And I think passive aggression is the biggest disease
Yes. Yeah.
ever, because you just sit and stew. You can't be direct with how you feel, and you can't like just address something and have it fixed. You have to let it go, stew, create tension and and hatred. Eventually that turns into hatred. Then there's an explosion of emotion and it's all negative and people overreact. And then you're back to the beginning, not being able to say what you wanted to say, and it's just going to start building again. And it just is a toxic cycle. It's really easy to just say what you mean at the beginning and maybe give somebody the opportunity to not feel bad about what they've done because they probably just didn't know.
Right.
And just be very direct and simple. You don't have to be mean, but direct is, hey, I'm not crazy about that. You can still say it as something nice, but without spending months stewing and hating somebody and hating yourself and hating the whole situation. Just say something and it's done.
Well, that's what they did was this is the one thing the ETs always say is that you guys can't communicate.
Right.
That's a lack of communication.
Right. Well,
There's
and they're
even
right.
Yeah, they made fear between everybody, so everybody's afraid to communicate.
Yeah, right.
People are afraid to share. People are afraid to have a conversation. And now it's even worse, I think, where with all that, there's been some kind of weird movements about not offending anyone or whatever. So now nobody says anything. Everybody's completely afraid of everybody else.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I mean you can't, at the end of the day, you can't say anything in this climate without pissing someone off. So
Right.
maybe just get used to it.
And that's what they wanted. That's how this is a psychological war, an insidious, and they took a long time to do this, an insidious psychological war.
Right. Yeah. And then you can just, if somebody's getting mad at you and they're offended by something that you say, you can just say, look, I wasn't meaning to offend you. And that's all there is to it. Like if you have ill intent, that's one thing. But if you're going about your business and running your day and
Right.
move on, move on. I don't care if at this point, I mean, I know I'm not trying to be an offensive person by any stretch. So if somebody's offended by something that I say, that's on you because it's not me trying to offend you, you know?
Yeah. 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 Well, that's the me thing.
Right. Exactly.
It's but these are all things that people have to deal with that, like, I've spent a long time working on, fixing different triggers and stuff like that. And understanding what the triggers are and, how I can how I can fix this, how I can fix that. And it just takes time. And you got to be forgiving of yourself and forgiving of other people.
And self-observant too. I feel like there's so many people that are not aware of their own reactions or their own behaviors with anything. They're just oblivious and ignorant about themselves.
Well, that's
because again, going back to it's not an ego thing to understand yourself or understand your emotions. It's
right.
That's called self-reflection. It's what responsible people do.
Yes. Because that's what they screwed up. And they're going and this is going way back to childhood.
Oh yeah.
They do to children. And then your mind molded like silly putty. That's when they get you. They know what they're doing. They happen to people's parents, silly putty the parents, silly putty the kid. And that's how they get people to become like, I always call it like trained dogs. It's like clicker training.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've been clicker.
And then, well, just like you always say, it's epigenetic, where
all
these weird little behaviors are then ingrained in your DNA.
Yes.
There's no recover. It takes generations to recover,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if you can. That's why that's why the star seeding happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, that's,
Yeah. It's going to take a rebuilding of society and a deprogramming and reprogramming and it's going to take generations to even make a step, but it can get there.
Oh, it can get there. I just don't know. Maybe they have different ideas of how to do things. I don't know, but it's like, I don't know. I don't. All I know.
Throw everybody in a med bed.
Right.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
And there may be some kind of a frequency adjustment they could use. something that because Ika says, and Linda just did a great post today, actually. And I said, oh, that's what DNA is malleable. So Ika says, think of it as music. So like he says, like sheet music, how you're writing sheet music. And then you can change the music. So you can change, a chorus in a song or something like that. In his resonance. So Linda I'll put it in the link. Linda did a fantastic podcast today about telomere gene, which is an aspect of the telomere, the aging part of the gene, which is what we.
Oh, I think I saw that. I saw that for a second, but I didn't go into it.
And it 100%, I said, this is what Ika said, So your genes, this is what I think they're going to do. I don't know if they're using everything's frequency, obviously, but they'll have some way in which I think they can adjust with people choosing. But again, I don't know, because it could be a situation where they're going to have to step in and do a frequency type thing just to prevent, a shit show. Because you very easily could have a complete meltdown, violent, like Lord of the Flies situation. So in that, I think they'll step in and say, okay, whoop, let's, so, well, the same thing they did to me, the night Ika came, what they did to me. Like, the shit show, let's, they want to mitigate the shit show.
Sedate, yeah.
Because I didn't ask for that. That was some imposition. So,
right. Well, I'm happy that you're saying that now instead of, oh, I messed up. Like,
Well, it was a shit. It was just, I don't know. Yeah, we're over it.
Yeah, good. Because there's not many. I don't have the background that you do. With all the abductions and all that, and I would be freaked out. I would be freaked out. You know what I mean? For you to have gone through as much as you've gone through, I would be freaking out. I would be the same way that you were, and I don't have any of the background that you do. So I think that's what else were you going to expect?
Yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, it was. We're okay. We've moved forward. We fixed this. We worked with it, and yeah. So they're gonna have to give me some kind of heads up so that doesn't happen, because so it's we know. I think we get all the information we need. So
5 seconds.
My body reacts. I know how my body's going to react, and and we have tools in which to do things in ways that's going to assist in a lot of different ways wherever we want to go with the next part of this mission. So that's like that. They'll step in if they. So we talk about consent, but they will if it's going to be obviously, right.
Yeah, shit hits the fan.
Right, to prevent a word to mitigate. You got to put the fire out, right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I would suspect. But I have no idea what the plan is. None whatsoever. So.
Well, yeah, because if you knew.
Well, no one knows how the hell is this is such. They don't know. There's only a small percentage of people with some groups upstairs that has extreme security that might have some kind of idea where we're going with this. But for the rest of us, for like Semyasi, I haven't talked to Val recently, for Ika, for Will, we're just on standby,
Right. Just like everybody. Yeah. I don't think, if anything's out there, they know it on both sides,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I say we just call it, the bad guys get flushed and we'll move on. Let's just call it a day, everybody. Let's just move on here.
Oh my God. Yeah. But guess what? I get out in nature, get out in nature, get out in nature. That's really
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Do nice things for yourself.
Yeah. And
if you had a fucked up life and everybody was an asshole, start doing nice things for yourself. Evan always said that, be your own hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Be your own hero. Stop looking for other people. Be your own hero. Do something nice for yourself. You don't have to spend money to do something nice for yourself.
There was that Olympian, and I don't know who she was, but she said, what I really love is that 8-year-old me would have been obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's such a cool way to think about your life. Like 8-year-old me would have loved me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keep that going. Keep it going.
Right, right. Yeah. You don't, like I said, and I love the way Evan addressed that, you know. Evan
Yeah.
was really good at getting me out of like, you know, some of the darker moments of like, yeah. But you can choose that. You can choose to live in darkness, or you can, it's really a choice, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
or you can choose to, you know, but everybody's got to find their own way out. There's not like a way to do something, you know.
Yeah, right. No, and there's things that work for one person that's not going to work for anybody else. You know, you got to, that's again part of self-reflection and figuring out how you work, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way,
Yeah, yeah.
because you're the best you ever can be. You
Yeah,
may be a
exactly.
lousy somebody else, but you make a great you.
Yeah, and nobody's going to know you as well as you know yourself, or hopefully that's where we want to be. Know thyself. That's always the first rule.
Yeah. Oh, that,
You know?
I mean, and I'll be the first person to admit I had to actually go back over years to because I didn't know who I was. I had no idea. None. I was a shell. And
Yeah.
I had to find, and that's what you have to do. I'm like, who am I? And I asked myself that. I'm like I'm not, I'm just a learned helplessness like shell. I don't have a me.
Yeah.
So you just start putting
Chip
pieces
away.
together. Right. Who are you? Only you can answer those questions.
Right.
What do you like? Simple things like that. What do you like? What makes you happy? You know, what
Yeah.
don't?
Start chipping away at it. And everybody, I feel like there's a lot of people that were in a position that you were in, or are in a position that you were in.
Absolutely. A lot of people.
And that's a big, everybody's been there where you know, you hit rock bottom and you're like, where do I go from here? And you just have to start chipping out of it, you know, day by day, piece by piece. Some days are better than others, and but make the decision to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you have a choice. You can live in the miserable state, and at some point you just get so sick of it. I just got so sick of it. I can't, I'm like
Yeah.
so sick of this.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care what people, that's why the people, you know, I don't give a shit. I have no fucks. I don't give a fuck, you know,
Right.
because I don't. And you just, eventually you're tired. You're so tired of like all the bullshit, all the fakery, all the, you're just like, you don't give a shit.
Right.
And that takes time to get there. You know, some people aren't there yet. They still want to be fucked over. That's great. You're not, you haven't got to that point yet, but you'll get to a point at some point where you're like, that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and for the people around those people, be patient, because you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, you know. So you just have to be patient, and they have to be ready for the change.
Yeah.
You know, or it's not a lasting change.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Realistically.
Yeah.
Everybody has to decide who they are on their own.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But you'd be surprised, you know, that you have a support structure. And it may not be your family, may not be in your arena, but it might be somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to reach out to find the people that'll be part of your support structure.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's a growing up alien Facebook group after hours.
You mean, for me, it was Dave Rossi's group, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I chose, I mean, that's it. I mean, if you're just going to sit in your basement, you're never going to find your support structure. But
Right.
if you start to make steps into, you know, like if you like to play golf, go where people play golf, right?
Right. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
saw Dave Rossi and I joined his group because I like this stuff. That's when I made some great friends. That changed, that literally making that decision to join Dave Rossi's group.
See, that's everything. That's everybody needs
It was
to do
everything.
that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be.
You're just gonna have to go out on a limb sometimes and do
Yep.
something different.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, I think that was probably our soapbox for the.
Yeah. I'm always on a soapbox, aren't I? I'm
Are
like,
these people gonna ever shut up? Jesus Christ, they've been.
get this guy off of here. Where's my show? Yeah.
these two, for God's sakes, I don't know. Yeah. Well, all I can see now are those two old guys from the Muppets.
They were my favorite.
I
They were
love
always my
those. I
favorite.
so identify. I said,
Whoa! Yeah. They were always my favorite. They cracked me up the most.
oh, I heard this show is going to get. It is? Yeah, it's going to end. Exactly.
Yeah. That's oh. Oh gosh. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it. And for everybody, please subscribe, watch a couple of my shows. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I want you to decide for yourself what you think. But I will put out some ideas there, and I'll tell you what's bullshit. That's for sure. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, I've been enjoying them and sharing them, and people have been, definitely, they're awesome.
I
Great.
try and keep it short and sweet.
Love
We
the
don't want
shows.
to. I don't want to spend a whole day for you guys, picking out everything that pisses me off on the news, basically. But I do want people to learn to see through it. So I just kind of pick out the standouts and kind of go over it.
Everybody has something to teach, and it's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. All right. As always, we will see you upstairs.
Thank you so much.